continuing to use more resources than we can reproduce. In order to continue at this rate, we would require 1.5 Earths worth of resources to meet our needs yearly, according to the Global Footprint Network report. This means that it takes the Earth 1.5 years to regenerate what we use in a year. If we continue at this rate, we will require 2 Earths to meet our demands by 2030. And if everyone on Earth were to live like the average American, we would need 3.9 Earths to sustain us. The Global Footprint Network was able to calculate that we will use up the Earth's yearly resource availability by August this year, whereas in the year 2000, this demand limit wasn't reached until October. The cost of ecological overspending is becoming more evident every day through drought, soil erosion, and a buildup of CO2 in the atmosphere. While we are demanding resources, we are also creating waste 44% faster than what nature is able to regenerate and break down. Countries living in poverty need to increase their consumption in order to get out of poverty, whereas the more industrialized countries, such as Canada, the United States, and some European countries, need to reduce their consumption by managing their energy and resources more efficiently. A few of the key points that are causing this degeneration of the Earth are global warming, diminishing fresh water supplies, and exponential population growth.
Global warming is the increase of Earth's average surface temperatures due to the effect of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane. These gases accumulate in the atmosphere and trap heat, not allowing it to escape. According to the Natural Resources Defense Council, climate change is the greatest environmental threat that we have at this time. The Environmental Protection Agency reports that Earth's temperature increased by 0.8 degrees Celsius in the past century. Half of this increase happened in the past 25 years. This is an increase of 3%. It is believed that temperature is rising at a faster rate than ever before. 43% of scientists today believe that global warming is due to natural causes such as forest fires, permafrost, sunspots, water vapor, and animals, whereas 45% of the scientists argue that global warming is caused mostly by human activity such as deforestation, burning of fossil fuels, landfills, overpopulation, mining, and fertilizer use. Deforestation is happening at an alarming rate. We are cutting down trees and plants to make way for human development. When forests are cut down, the CO2 sitting in the soil gets released into the atmosphere. Burning of fossil fuels is a big contributor to global warming. We burn fossil fuels like coal to provide gas for our cars and electricity for our homes. These two factors alone account for 40% of the CO2 released in the atmosphere in the United States. Our landfills are full of waste we created. This garbage often gets burned to make room for more garbage to come. This releases toxic gases such as methane into the atmosphere. Methane, similarly to CO2, also traps heat. Overpopulation is another cause for global warming. More people breathe out more CO2 and require more resources that contribute to even more CO2 emission. Fertilizers used in large amounts by the farming industry produce nitrous oxides in the soil. Nitrous oxide is a lot more dangerous than CO2. These are just a few of the many believed effects of global warming. Global warming is not only a great environmental threat, it is endangering our social, economic, and physical health. The effects of global warming and climate change are seen all around us. Glaciers are melting and ocean levels are rising. We see drought, change in weather patterns, species extinction, economic collapse, and diminishing freshwater supply, among many others.
400 million children have no access to the safe water. 1.4 million children will die each year from lack of access to the safe drinking water and adequate sanitation. We are inefficient water users. According to the World Health Organization, water consumption has grown at over twice the rate of population growth in the past century. People are overusing the water. They are using a lot of water for everyday needs. People are consuming around 90% of the world's fresh water. Unfortunately, because of this high percentage of water use, our supplies would not last for a long time. According to the World Economic Forum Water Resources Group, by 2030, clean water availability will exceed the availability by 40%. According to the scientists, there are two big reasons why our water supplies are really poor. First one is population growth. With the rise of population growth, the usage of the water is also increasing. Second one, equally important, is climate change. However, people are thinking, why are we not using the ocean water for our support? Using the Earth's ocean's water is possible, but the process of desalination of water is really expensive and requires a lot of energy.
According to a study from the University of Washington and the United Nations, the world population will likely continue to grow throughout the 21st century. It is estimated that the population will reach 11 billion by 2100, which is roughly 2 billion higher than previous estimates. There is a 70% chance that the world population will not stabilize this century, bringing up an even bigger issue as 1 in 9 people already suffer from malnutrition. Food production companies are already struggling to meet this growing demand, and with this large of an increase in population, a 60% increase in food production is necessary to compensate. Majority of this growth is estimated to be found in third world countries, where the population will likely quadruple from approximately 1 billion today to 4 billion by the end of the century. With this constant increase in population, the resulting outcome will be more consumption of already limited resources.
There are still some individuals who argue that the technology will lead us to a more abundant future. We have always been able to overcome great challenges and come up with solutions, and they believe that this is just another problem that we will solve. These individuals believe that the fact that the Earth's population will grow to 9 billion in 30 years from now is not a problem, but will actually benefit us because there will be more minds to create more solutions. While we are capable of doing great things, we are also not able to create something out of nothing. We have filled the Earth with waste that we cannot dispose of, and the resources we are running extremely low on will not be able to completely recreate. We must introduce ecologic limits to our everyday lives and make them the center of our decision-making in order to find a more sustainable way of living in the future.